Airris, in a moment of rare clarity, actually suggests something that I think is constructive for him and Jasmine to do moving forward.
He said he'll do Jasmine a solid and not have sex with her until the 8 week period is up. Now, my question is this: does Iris care more about Jasmine than Jasmine cares about herself? So we understand what Jasmine is saying. She likes to fall in love. She doesn't discriminate who she falls in love with. Why is she checking for him?
Um, I guess maybe the short answer is that because they're married.
Oh, is that why?
I'm guessing. I'm not saying I'm right, but I'm guessing because
Oh.
that could be the only thing that I would think would explain why she would continue to do this with the kind of information that she's been able to gather from her husband.
Welcome to Cliff Alerts.
Yeah, today we're going to be talking about Lifetime Network's reality-based TV series, Married at First Sight, season number 16, episode number 11.
Before we get into it, please like, share, and subscribe. Please click that notification button so you know when we upload new content. Please click that like button as well to help us in the algorithm. We appreciate our new subscribers and those who have stayed with us and keep rocking with us. We appreciate and thank you for your support. So here we go.
Absolutely. Airris meets with his boy, I guess, Harold,
Yeah.
and kind of they chop it up, man to man about, how Airris is doing, heading into the 1 month anniversary, okay, of being married.
And Eric seemed to be a little more in touch with what's going down. He tells Harold that he's still not feeling
His
Jasmine
wife.
after a month, and he doesn't know what to do. Where are the experts in this show? Where's the help?
I think Pastor Cal and
Pastor Cal,
Dr. Pepper,
where they at?
I know they're somewhere there. Them folks need help.
Lord have mercy, every last one of them.
And I think that here is, in all seriousness, a plea for one, in a rare kind of like really candid moment from Eris, because I think that when it comes to certain topics, I think Eris can be very candid, but in terms of you know
Sometimes he was reckless and ugly and vile with his conversation.
right, but that's being candid.
But right now he is being clear. He understands that this is beyond him. He's
Right,
overwhelmed.
right,
He's never been in this position.
right.
And although Jasmine may present herself as one thing, she's beautiful. He keeps saying that, and she looks like something that any man would want. He does not want her.
Yeah, and he mentioned to his buddy that he's kind of looking for a vibe, if
The
you will,
vibe.
to kind of uh, give him, I guess, the indication that hey, look, he's on the right track, and that he and his wife are getting closer together. He thinks that this may be possible by continuing to go out on dates with Jasmine in an effort to, I guess, make him feel comfortable and, in effect, secure this vibe.
Listen, I'm not sure why Iris decided to go on this journey, but if Iris has a past, that is all up in his system. And because it's up in his system and in his mental, he doesn't have the skill set to think beyond what he has been steeped in.
Mhm.
So unless they have a seance,
Oh, what?
a laying of hands, or something, he is going to continue thinking the way he has been thinking because he's a 40-year-old man who has been out in those streets, and that stuff has captured his imagination and everything else.
Well, I think it's because of something that he has already said. He had a relationship and that really scarred him, if you will.
What has he been doing since then? He told us he has
He's
been actively involved in sexual deviant shit.
it because he was scarred from that. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying that that it justifies, his behavior. I'm not saying that at all.
Hmm.
But I'm just telling you what he said, and I think that he has used the opportunity to keep a deliberate arm's length distance at a very minimum from anybody else that he's dealt with. It has caused him not to develop. It's caused him to have the kind of relationship that lack depth. I think that in many respects he lacks the depth that he could be open to being on the receiving end if he were to, I guess, kind of think about this situation with his current wife.
Jasmine sees who this man is, and yet she still wants to lay down with him. And I'm saying, sister, you got to check yourself. The spirit that is within Airris
That's causing him to act the way.
got a moment of clarity and is telling you to walk away. And instead of hearing that advice, you were trying to get closer because you're married. And as you say, you love easily. Sister, you got to be careful who you love and where that love is going to take you.
And the person that you love has got to be worthy of it.
Thank you. That's why, because you choose who you love, you got to start monitoring and regulating yourself where that is concerned.
Yeah, so I think there's some definite issues that need to be addressed. But in the interim, they had an opportunity to connect on a date, and where they were headed to was, I think, an interesting selection in terms of an activity. Right? They went to a rage room.
A place where they go and just tear stuff up.
Yeah, you're free to vent your
Frustration.
frustrations and exactly get it all out physically, you
Right.
know, and by destroying and or tearing up other things. Now, I don't know about you, but we used to do that as kids without having the benefits of a rage room. They gave both of them sledgehammers and gave them items that items to break up, tear up, and or otherwise destroy, and they went at it.
Well, that was fine and good, but when they went on their date, and he's not putting in the effort at all.
Well, he had actually said, earlier in the episode that, yeah, and I think he may have mentioned it to his buddy
He
Harold
did.
that he was not putting in he was not going all in 100%.
In fact, he did tell her at this dinner that they were having that he was, in the beginning, he wanted to cut and run.
Right.
He wasn't putting in 100%. When she asked why, he said, well, there's so many things because of the lack of attraction, he's not feeling her at all.
So apparently he didn't listen to his own vows that he took.
He had a moment of clarity and he told her, we're not going to do the sex piece in this
Right? Even though
magical experiment.
even though on another level that's exactly what he wants to do.
Right. He's clear about that. No sex. And instead of her saying, yeah, fine, sure. Earlier, she said that she has, it's not been going the way she wants, and it has now made her cautious, and she has backed up some.
Yes.
She still has this need and desire to lay down with this man. I don't see why. He is trying to save her from herself.
Well, in a moment of clarity, yeah, it would seem that that remark is kind of directed as a means to that end, and that's really good. But the other end of it is this, she's got to come to an understanding where she understands that, hey, look, if I value myself, then I have to be in agreement with this suggestion that my husband has made because it's the proper way or a more constructive way to get to where we would like to be as a married couple, if indeed that is in the cards. He
Why
hasn't
do
got.
you think she doesn't get that?
I think that she really has this neediness, if you will, to be a wife, to kind of fulfill these, I guess, for lack of a better expression, fantasies in her head about how marriage is supposed to be. You know, I think that she, it goes back to what you were saying earlier about her um, wanting or being someone who falls in love easily, and because she likes that feeling. She is clearly not in a happy place right now. And Eris are going to get to that point that they need to do things differently. They have to do something different because what they're doing right now is not working.
They had dinner
Yep.
with the other couples, and of course, the same conversation, no attraction, and he's fine with it, and she's upset. It didn't go any further. That's what it is. It's a repetitive thing right now. And again, where are the experts?
On the after party show, Keisha Knight Pulliam decided that she would ask Eris an opinion about what Shaq might want to consider doing as it relates to his relationship with Kirsten. Eris ain't got a handle on his own situation. So for Keisha to kind of put him in a position to answer a question about something that uh, he should weigh in as it relates to advice for somebody else's marriage is something that left me scratching my brown egg.
Didn't he look like one of those old school dudes at the club?
Yeah, the way he was sitting.
The way he was sitting with the gold chain and the
Uh-huh. The
sneakers and
medallion
the
and all that.
medallion,
Yeah, and he had both arms up here and he was leaning back in the cut.
the swagger.
Yeah, checking out the scene, the scenery and all that kind of stuff.
Uh,
Trying to see who's gonna mac, you know what I'm saying? But that was kind of one of the strangest things I'd seen from this cat who clearly has no clue and needs help in terms of how to get to where he needs to be as a husband.
he was he was busy asking Nicole and them if married sex is better than single sex. So that's where this brother stays. That's where he lives. This is his zone, if you know what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
I just think Jasmine needs to open her ear. I don't know if someone needs to maybe um get her attention, a pie in the face, a gentle slap, a pinch to wake her up, to wake her up.
She's sleeping.